Hey, y'all know how I do. No time to waste. Let's get it. Let's go. CNN debate.
Here's a thought exercise for you in the form of a top 10 list. 1. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden commuted the sentence of a murderous gang leader? 2. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden considered pardoning a left-wing militia that plotted to kidnap a Republican governor? 3. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden accepted jets from a country he said supported terror? 4. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden used the office to openly enrich himself from crypto to hotels? 5. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden told conservative-leaning universities what to teach, who to teach, or else? 6. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden demanded millions from Fox for a bogus reason, or he'll stop a business deal? 7. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden introduced a bill that would not only add to the deficit but also threaten Medicaid? 8. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden waffled on standing up to Vladimir Putin and kept kicking the can down the road every 2 weeks? 9. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden's White House said the courts have no role in how he governs? And 10. How would MAGA react if Joe Biden enlisted a billionaire who helped get him elected, let's call him George Soros, to then dismantle the government? Because Donald Trump did all of that. And just this week, we'll start with the pardoning spree. This is, Joanna, one of the more...
You know, it's funny, they're so brainwashed. MAGA is so brainwashed that they couldn't see the hypocrisy within that. They couldn't. But I would ask the same question, would the left be able to see the hypocrisy in that? It's a conversation we probably don't want to have. Would the left be able to see the hypocrisy in that? If Joe Biden was doing the same things, would the left justify it? That's how brainwashed people is when it comes to politics at this point. People are just that brainwashed, like literally. People were mad at Barack Obama for deporting a bunch of people. They're mad at Trump for deporting a bunch of people. They both did the same thing. Obama did it more through the judicial system. Trump, not really, kind of. He's kind of showing that he's not really wanting to do it. He's just going to do it any way he wants to do it. Either which way, they both are trying to deport a lot of people. But Obama also putting forth things to where people can have ways of getting their citizenship. Trump is not seemingly doing that. But I mean, the justification is still the same. MAGA uses it like, oh look, Obama did this, and it's like, no, that's just showing the hypocrisy within everybody, and yourselves included. You guys hated Obama. You hated Obama. You guys said Obama did nothing. He was one of the worst presidents in history, but you're pointing out something that Obama did that you really liked, that Trump is doing. It's just the hypocrisy on both sides.
Or Trumpian things. I mean, he started his term by pardoning January 6th rioters, and now has gone on another pardoning spree, some of whom were convicted of white-collar crimes. He seems to be trying to send a very strong signal there, but also a rapper, a gang banger, and gang leader. What's the theme for you?
Well, I think the theme is really, how does Donald Trump keep the attention on himself? I mean, we had a great podcast at the Daily Beast this week with the author Michael Wolff, who says that Trump wakes up every morning and his only question is, how do I get attention today? So in the high-low of it all, he's got a new rival/enemy in Harvard, and now he's pardoning reality television people who were charged with fraud. So he's got the high coverage, media coverage, attention. Now he's got the low coverage. He's on high-end news shows like this one, and then he's on ET and Access Hollywood for the Chrisleys, right? So what he wants is attention. He'll do anything to get it. I actually don't think this will play very well with viewers. I think with viewers/voters.
Viewers are also important.
I actually don't think it plays well with voters, because people like to know what's right and wrong, and people like to know that people get actually their comeuppance if they've done something wrong. I mean, but it's an attention game.
Scott, a lot of this is mixed signals from Trump. I mean, on the one hand, he says put the drug dealers in... Actually, he says the death penalty for drug dealers, and then he commutes a sentence of Larry Hoover. On the one hand, he talks about Qatar being a sponsor of terrorism, but wants to take a plane from them. I guess maybe this is very Trumpian in the sense that it almost is like, are there principles?
He commuted a sentence from Larry Hoover? Go Trump. hey. I know why. Like, because he believes that, oh, man, they're fucking up right now because they don't know this. Trump believes the same thing that a lot of, like, people in Chicago believe. That if you free Larry Hoover, the person who was running, was it Larry Hoover? It was Larry, I think it was. It was either Larry Hoover, no, it had to have been Larry Hoover. That he may fix Chicago by going into it. Hold on, I'm going to look this up while it plays. Larry Hoover.
At play here at all.
Well, I think every situation has its own individual details, and you could probably quibble over on the pardon of some of them. I think some of them are actually defensible, including Congressman Michael Grimm of New York, who suffered, paralysis after he had already served his time. So, some of these were not all that different than what you might see another president do.
He was a gangster disciple. Yes, so he was from Chicago, and what he believes is that by freeing Larry Hoover, that he may actually help fix what happened in Chicago. So to a degree, like, he is trying to help black people in that note. Gotta give him credit.
He's doing it early in his term.
I know, like, the left may not understand why, but that I understand what he's doing. I understand that. Like, he's trying to help. Oh wow. Okay, go Trump. That's pretty cool. Oh man, yeah, because he thinks he could straighten it out if he pardons it. I know they're discussing. Oh, okay.
I mean, most presidents do these things on the way out the door, or maybe while they're on their way up to the Capitol to see the next president being sworn in. And so, I think with Trump, when things get brought to his attention, he just does them. He makes decisions. He's decisive. He puts it out there and then lets the chips fall where they may. Cutter, look, we're in bed with these guys whether we like it or not. They do things we don't like. They do things we wish they wouldn't do. But we're in bed with them on military stuff, whether we like it or not, and national security stuff. So, there are reasons to deal with them beyond just this plane issue, because they're obviously been a supporter of our military base there, and they buy military equipment from us.
And Cari, believe it or not, Trump on Friday was asked about Diddy.
Yes,
of all things. Okay, so let's just play it if you haven't seen this.
I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot. I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up from what I read. So, I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact.
Oh,
they ain't even over.
What? Y'all actually making me like this president a little bit. Like, I'm not. Diddy was wrong. But he's not being charged with the abuse of Cassie. We saw the video. He's being charged with RICO. And being a freak, even if it's weird, does not necessarily make you a criminal. So Trump is looking at that as if he's wrong, then he's not seeming like a bad guy right now to me. I don't know. I'm seeing what's going on. Like, hold on.
The case is not over.
We're on day, what, I think 12 of the case?
Not saying I support Diddy. I think Diddy should face charges for what happened, but somebody told me that he already faced the punishment for what he did to Cassie. I don't know. Y'all correct me in the comment section on that.
Quite for sure what the day is, but it's very interesting that you bring this up. And I think the original question was, how would MAGA react? I was a local reporter in West Palm Beach, and I would often go to Mar-a-Lago. I think I've shared this on the show before. And this was in a time when so many people I will mention are now canceled by society. Russell Simmons would have a charity event at Mar-a-Lago every year. And one of the biggest attendees that people would talk about on the island was one Diddy, or at the time Puffy. And I used to watch and think that they had a really good relationship, referencing what he just said. And obviously when you ran for politics, we saw that Diddy said there were many opportunities for Diddy to say he wasn't with him. But for Trump to even consider pardoning him, to me, is on a level of which that is so horribly, and we don't even know if he's going to be, honestly, convicted, but it would be extremely devastating, not only just to people who have decided to pledge their support against domestic violence and abuse, but the fact that we know that Sean Combs had...
but that's not what he's being charged with. He's being charged with a RICO, not domestic violence and abuse. He's being charged with a RICO. You gotta word that better, man. Like, he's being charged with a RICO. So if he gets pardoned, that's gonna be the next thing that's gonna come all over TikTok. He's not getting pardoned for abuse. He's getting pardoned for the RICO. No, not pardon, but he's charged with the RICO. That's what they're charging him with.
Has done so many things visually, how he has treated people. I mean, this is coming from someone who was a fan of him. Really disturbs me.
Yeah, even putting aside the charges against him. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to give Trump too much credit, but like, does he even
know what's going on?
Yeah.
Honestly, seeing that clip gave me PTSD of, I want to say, sometime spring of 2020. He was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell, and he said, "I wish her well," something along those lines.
Yeah. Very similar vibes.
Very similar vibes. This is it's playing out in the courts. We don't know where this is going to end up, but to even put your finger or signal where you're going to be is a mistake. Here's what I say. Trump did a good thing by pardoning Alice Johnson. He did a good thing by putting Alice Johnson as his pardon czar. This is somebody right, left, and center. A lot of people believe we have absolutely over-sentenced people for minor or even some significant drug offenses, but you shouldn't spend the rest of your life behind bars because you may have had some of these drug offenses. Those are the kind of things he should be focusing on. Those are 80% issues, not white-collar crimes committed by, celebrity, what are they, Bravo, they're USA Today celebrities, whatever they are, whatever the show it is. This is the kind of thing that I think it becomes hard for his supporters to defend.
I think it makes sense. He wants to be on the high news show and the low news show. He wants to be a part of the news. I think it's very much all the time. I think it's very ego-driven. And he was like, yes, people have asked me about it. I don't know much about referring to the Diddy case. I don't know much about it, but I don't think anyone should be treated unfairly. And I'm like, wait, who's being treated unfairly? And to your point, do you know what is going on and what you are saying? It's cringeworthy.
He never rules anything in or out.
Yeah.
I mean, when he doesn't know what's going on or if something is still unfolding, I mean, this is a common trait. He never rules anything in or out definitively. And I wouldn't expect him to, and I also wouldn't expect him to be sitting around watching this trial.
I'm sorry, but I would expect him to know,
Why?
and to rule out getting involved in the Diddy case, regardless of the outcome.
To be honest,
that is a rule. That is a thing
knowing
that can
him,
be
I'm
ruled
not
out.
sure. I think he's briefed on it. Like, I think he knows Puff Daddy and knows that he was kind of an icon in like the 90s and early 2000s.
Which is his era.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he's actually up to date on the fact that he is like, nobody wants to own him, and he is somebody that most people are hoping gets justice.
And also, he's never going to have gone to one of those freak-offs because he's a germaphobe, right? So I don't think he would like all that lube and baby oil around.
I do think that with some of this stuff, I mean, Trump, it's the Fifth Avenue thing. I mean, he was basically like, I can do what I want.
Whatever.
On all of these
I'm the
topics.
boss.
And he is doing what he wants because essentially
Well, and
no one
truthfully,
is saying
it turns
anything
out
about it.
he's right,
Right? He's absolutely right. He can do
People are
whatever he
letting him
wants.
get away with it.
So
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
And when he
Yeah.
says these things, when he puts this in the atmosphere, in the zeitgeist, if you will, people are like, okay, Diddy's getting out. The rumor mill starts to churn, and people are thinking, okay, well, will that happen? Obviously, that's all talk, and we don't know if that will ever happen. But in a case like this, in more particular, I would say, I don't know. And he never says, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I can't talk about that.
Well,
that's unfortunate.
That is another option. Too. I don't know enough about this. I'm not going to comment.
To say I'm going to take a look at it means maybe we'll take a look at it and say, oh, this is ridiculous.
All right.
I think it was very suspicious that the entire panel was women. I think that was very wrong, too, in that scenario, because, of course, they might see it very biasly when it comes to the Diddy situation because of the Cassie video. But however, though, the Cassie video was terribly wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't. Anyways, I'm out. That was good. I normally agree with the CNN panel, but I think they need to all of them need to look more into that type of situation to know what they're talking about a little bit more. But anyways, I'm out. Peace.